handcuffed suspect accused of stealing a state police cruiser. Cops say he drove it for about 3 miles. News 12's Kevin Vesey is in West Babylon right now. And Kevin, how did this all happen?
Yeah, Antoinette, that's a good question. This guy really must have been some kind of escape artist, by the way police described this whole thing. So cops say he was in the back seat of a state police cruiser handcuffed. He was also buckled in with the seatbelt, and he somehow managed to get himself into the driver's seat. State troopers filled this West Babylon neighborhood after one of their cruisers was stolen this morning, allegedly by a suspect in handcuffs.
Everywhere there was cops car, they basically were looking at something.
37-year-old John Gibson was handcuffed and seatbelted in the back of the cruiser after police say he failed a sobriety test on the Southern State Parkway. Cops say Gibson somehow slipped the cuffs to the front of his body, unbuckled himself, got in the driver's seat, and sped off. He allegedly drove about 3 miles from North Babylon near Deer Park Avenue to West Babylon near Straight Path.
That's unbelievable, and that's kind of scary.
The police vehicle was found on Matthews Avenue, and Gibson was arrested at a nearby cemetery.
I'm glad that they got him and everyone is safe.
And thankfully, nobody was hurt. Meanwhile, Gibson now faces several charges, including grand larceny, escape, resisting arrest, and DWI.
A convicted felon accused of the attempted murders of his wife and her 2 kids is now charged with assaulting judicial marshals. Today, that Bridgeport man was back in court on those new charges, where he allegedly attacked staff again. News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter reports tonight from Bridgeport Superior Court.
Abdul Rahim Suleiman continued to cause problems while he was arraigned for the 2nd day in a row. As a team of marshals led Suleiman into the courtroom, he spit on the wall in the hallway, causing marshals to cover his face for the hearing. But that was just the start of the issues.
You, sir, have a right to remain silent.
Abdul Rahim Suleiman ignored that right as he went before a judge Friday. Suleiman wore a spit hood. He's accused of spitting on one marshal and slapping another in the face.
Your lawyer's here, whatever you say.
Where's my lawyer?
Will be used against you.
Where's my lawyer?
State police say the assault happened at the courthouse the day before, while Suleiman was waiting to be arraigned in a violent attack on his wife and her 2 young sons. He's accused of using a baseball bat to beat them in their apartment Wednesday morning. The 6-year-old and 4-year-old boys were airlifted to the hospital. But in court on Thursday, the prosecution said the older boy wasn't expected to survive.
The strength of the state's case is extremely strong, the facts of which are gruesome to say the least.
1 day later, Suleiman was back before a judge.
My lawyer who?
Please.
Look, man,
But he had to be removed from the courtroom because of disruptive behavior. The judge continued without Suleiman and added an additional $1 million to his already $10 million bond. But shortly after, state police arrived at the courthouse to investigate another reported attack on marshals. That led a judge to call the case again without Suleiman. She said he spit blood in a marshal's eye, and she ordered he be tested for HIV. More charges are now expected for Suleiman's latest behavior, but a judge ruled that because of his actions, he has waived his right to be present in the courtroom, and all future hearings will be virtual.
A News 12 exclusive: 2 students forcibly unenrolled from the Plainedge School District, and district administrators say it's because of their vaccine status, but their father disagrees. News 12's Kevin Vesey is outside the district's administration building where a special meeting was held tonight. Kevin, what happened there?
Yeah, so Antoinette, there was a lot of emotion at tonight's meeting from people who believe that this family is being unfairly targeted. Now, we spoke exclusively with the father of those 2 children, and that man is also a board member here in the Plainedge School District. He says he thinks that this is all retribution on the part of the school's administration.
Ultimately, the truth will prevail. My children are vaccinated.
Plainedge School Board member Joseph Garcia is fighting back after his 7-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter were unenrolled by the district on Friday because of their vaccination status. The children's vaccines were called into question because they were administered by Wild Child Pediatrics in Lindenhurst. The state says Wild Child falsified 1,500 pediatric vaccinations for diseases like polio, measles, and the mumps. Did you know that Wild Child was falsifying vaccination records?
I had no idea until we saw the news articles about the COVID-19 vaccination issues.
Garcia says his children's vaccines are real. He showed us paperwork which he says proves they have antibodies consistent with immunity in their blood.
Everything done in secrecy behind closed doors.
Tonight, community members were outraged when the school board voted to hire a law firm as Garcia appeals to the State Department of Education. Security guards initially tried to keep us out of that meeting. There was no comment from the district's administration, including the superintendent.
This had nothing to do with my children and my paperwork. It had to do with me as a board member.
And as of now, those two children are still not enrolled by the Plainedge School District. Garcia is asking the state to allow his two children to attend school while this process plays out. So, Antoinette, it looks like there will be more to come on this.
Tonight, police are investigating after shots were fired in downtown White Plains, and this happened in broad daylight.
Yeah, very shocking for people in the area, but News 12's Julia Rosier has been on the scene all day and joins us with the latest details on this investigation. Julia?
Kevin, Nikita, police say at least 4 shots were fired here on MLK and Barker Avenue in the middle of the day. Nearby residents tell us they're shocked and concerned for their safety.
I can't believe that something like this would happen in broad daylight.
Growing concerns from residents on Friday after a 22-year-old male was shot in downtown White Plains.
Makes me worried about my girls, growing up and being out on their own, walking around town, shopping, getting coffee.
Police responded to reports of a gunshot victim near Hamilton and North Lexington Avenues Friday afternoon. But police believe the initial incident happened about 1 block away on MLK and Barker Avenue. Police tell us the victim was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds to his face and calf. They say his injuries are non-life-threatening. He was driving a late model BMW, which was found in the roadway on North Lexington and Hamilton Avenues. The vehicle driver's side door handle appeared to be ripped off with 4 apparent bullet holes.
Thankfully, we've had a lot of people from the area come forward to try to help us.
For Kim Tranquita, learning that shots were fired so close to her daughter's preschool and in an area she comes to often was terrifying.
I feel a little shooken up given that this is my child's pre-K area, but also the train station where I go often.
Police say another vehicle was involved and was occupied by several subjects. They're working to track down more information on that vehicle.
If there is anybody else that is aware of anything, however small, that they think might help us in this investigation, to please call the police station.
Police are still investigating this incident. In White Plains, Julia Rosier, News 12.
The Suffolk family tonight is finding solace in their time of heartbreak. Their daughter was taken from them in a devastating crash in West Babylon, and now the young woman's organs are helping others live on. News 12's Kristen McNally has the story.
Unbelievable gift of life that was given to the community.
From a life cut too short to saving the lives of strangers, 17-year-old Bella Trezza was hailed a hero today. Just days after she died as a result of a crash in West Babylon, she donated several of her organs to help others.
There's tragedy at the same time. There's one person who was hoping every day that somebody might say yes to donation and give them a second chance at life, and that happened last night.
It was here at Good Samaritan University Hospital where Bella received an honor walk and was wheeled into surgery where she would donate both of her kidneys and her liver.
The recipients are 2 women in their 30s and a man in his 60s.
She also wanted to help other people.
We are told Trezza aspired to be a nurse. Her principal at St. John the Baptist says that was evident to all she knew.
She just has this way about her to make people smile.
Bella has joined a long list of heroes and their families that have chosen to donate the gift of life, according to Live On New York, who says organ donations in the state have increased 50% in the last 3 years.
New York is one of the top performers now in the country for organ donation, and that is only because of the grace and love of families like the Trezza family.
In West Islip, Krista McNally, News 12 Long Island.
That is wonderful. All of the transplants from Bella's donation were successful and helped people in New York and across the country.